Okay, so hey guys, I know it's been a little while, and I've said that I'm transitioning over to Twitch, which in fact I haven't really um, done anything on Twitch in about 2 or 3 weeks because mental health and motivation are just kind of down there right now, and with just nothing really to stream, I've kind of I guess for a streamer, like basically writer's block, but for a streamer instead, because it's just so boring. There's not really many games to stream, and like I'm not really into a lot of the popular games out there, like battle royales and stuff like that. So that's just not my thing, and unfortunately, I still am like the most comfortable streaming Overwatch, but I know not a lot of people are into Overwatch anymore, so that really sucks. But I mean, I'm not really into it that much either. Like, it's just the content drought is just it's unbearable, and I'm just not that interested in it anymore. But like in terms of like games that I'm confident in streaming, Overwatch is at the top of the list, like hands down. So yeah, but I just decided, hey, there's been some stuff happening in my life in the past 2 or 3 months since the last video that I decided, let's make another video. So, um, I got my tax return last month, and with the money that I got back, I decided to spend that and go get a new PC. PC. I got another laptop just because it's just easier. Like, there's no space here for me to build a tower, and even if I were to find a case that could squeeze under here, it's not going to be good thermal wise. So it's just going to be stuck down there. There's no airflow going through it and everything. So it's just not a really good idea. So it's just better to just keep having a laptop. And plus, I'm going to be moving again. Who knows when? But I'm still not settled down long term yet. I mean, I know you guys have been seeing this backdrop for a few years now, but I'm not going to be living here forever. It's still kind of like I do plan on moving somewhere else soon, but I'm not settled here yet. This is not even my home. I'm just living here as like a roommate, sort of. So yeah, but anyways, let's just go ahead and just get down to the topic at hand. Basically, so this was my old laptop. This is a Asus ROG Strix Scar Edition. I believe the model name or model number is the GL703 GM. I believe that's what it is. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I mean, this thing has served me well. This has been the PC that I've had ever since that one video like a few years ago where I was like, oh yeah, bad news, PC broke down. So that was the old one. That was a G751. That was one heck of a beast. That thing, it weighed about 10 pounds, and it was like 2.5 inches thick. I mean, it was a really thick Well, I would say just like maybe 1.5 inches thick, but it was a really thick laptop, and it was a really heavy laptop. But the really good thing about it is that it was mostly silent during gaming, which is really nice. It was a very, very thick laptop, so there's a lot of cooling stuff that was stuck into it, compared to what we desire nowadays, which is thin and light gaming laptops. So as you can see, this is about half the thickness of that old laptop, and yeah, this thing has served me well for the last 4 years or so. And but the thing is, it's just I didn't really need an upgrade, but I really, really wanted one. And honestly, my new laptop is in all regards, a total upgrade over this one. I mean, it's just better CPU, better graphics card, better screen, and everything is just better. And still Windows 10, because I refuse to go to Windows 11 because I just don't want to. It was the same thing for me with Windows 7. It was just like I didn't want to upgrade from Windows XP to Windows 7. But then from Windows 7 to Windows 10, I didn't really see much of a difference. I'm just like, you know what? I'm fine with it, whatever. But like from Windows 10 to Windows 11, I don't want to upgrade. I've had Windows 10 for 8 years now, and I don't want to move from Windows 10. So it's served me well. Like I don't need to upgrade to Windows 11, so I just figured don't upgrade. Um, so yeah, but anyways, to go through the overview, basically. this this laptop, basically, there is one thing that depending on how you look at it, could be a pro or could be a con. Whenever I used to game, these two fans back here, there's one right here and there's one right here in the back. They would spin very very fast. Like they would spin at their at their maximum. If you tell it to, if you put it on overboost on the overboost setting, they will spin like jet engines. Like they literally sounded like jet engines. They were just like very high pitched and it was just constant just like whirring, and it was good if you prefer, if you are are prioritizing cooling over acoustics and whatnot. But I mean, obviously, with the mic that I have, people are going to hear that all the time, and so it's not necessarily going to be a good thing. Now personally, I really liked that my laptop was staying cool and everything, or the fans are ramping up and they're doing their job. But I kind of wanted a better balance, and so my new laptop actually. So most gaming laptops, of course, they have the vents in the back, so they output heat out the back. But this new one also has vents out the side. Of course, this one doesn't. But I'm just saying, kind of as an example, they go out the back and out the side as well. So they have dual exhaust vents on both sides, so the heat also comes out the sides, which I do have to be a little bit aware of, just so I don't like put something right next to my laptop and then accidentally start blocking the airflow. Although I don't think that would happen, it would probably just heat the thing up. So if I wanted to keep my drink warm in the winter, I could just put it right next to put it right next to my laptop and just play a really really demanding game or something like that. So yeah. Anyways, to not ramble on for too much longer. The screen complete upgrade. This is a 120 hertz screen in here, and I mean it's 144 hertz on this one, but it is AMD FreeSync, which I am using a Ryzen. I am switching from Intel to Ryzen, so this has an Intel i7 8750H, which it's 6 cores and hyper-threaded, so there's 12 threads. And I don't remember exactly what the base clock was in this one or in that one, which in this new laptop, there is a Ryzen 7 4800H, which is 8 cores, so, massive improvement there. And I think this thing turbos up to 4.3 gigahertz, which is awesome. And I think the base clock is 2.9 gigahertz, so it's an amazing processor. I mean, because, over the last about a few months or so, anytime I would do something on this laptop, I mean, if I was just browsing, it would just go to like 60% CPU usage, and then of course, if I watch a video and then like I, play a game and then I do something else in the background, it's just gonna stay pegged at 100, and it was really really just starting to fall behind, so I just needed a new upgrade, and so the Ryzen 7 that I have in here now works much much better. So, and then of course, CPU, and then I also got the GPU, the graphics card, is a major upgrade. So I have a GTX 1060 in here, which is not necessarily a bad card. I mean, it's still the most used video card, I think, on the Steam hardware survey. So, so a lot of people using GTX 1060s and that haven't bothered to upgrade yet, because it's a good card. It's a very very solid card. But after that thing was released way back in 2016, and I've had this for 4 years, so it's just like I kind of needed an upgrade, and so I just decided, hey, let's pull the plug. Let's go to RTX. So I have an RTX 3060 in here now, which is a massive upgrade. I've seen, oh my gosh, DLSS is a game changer, and I love it. And ray tracing is just, it looks phenomenal. So it's just great all around. I love it so much. Did I mention the 144 hertz screen? I think I did. There's 120 hertz in here, 144 hertz on here. Still 3 milliseconds. I don't think you can get better with what do you call it? With laptops. I think 3 milliseconds is going to be the limit, unless they find a way to do something with it. I don't really know how that stuff works, but yeah. So big upgrade there. And then RAM stays the same. It's 32 gigs of DDR4, although it is clocked at 2666 megahertz on this one. On the new laptop, it is clocked at 3200, which honestly, RAM doesn't affect game performance that much, but it is nice to know that it is higher clock than this new in this new laptop. So there we go. And then of course with a new laptop, I also needed a new headset because I got this headset. I've had this headset for around 5 years, I'd say. And this thing, it's a HyperX Cloud 2, and you can see it's really, 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 just it's gone through hell and back. I mean, I've abused this thing for so long. Well, not really abused it, but like it's seen a lot of punishment. And honestly, this stuff right here on the ear cup just started flaking off a couple weeks ago. So, this isn't even how it's been for like a majority of it. But, honestly, it's just, oh my gosh, I can't believe this thing still rocks. Like, it still works. It still works. Like, I've put this thing through so much abuse and, punishment, and it still manages to work despite in the terrible condition that it's in. I mean, there's so many actually the wrong one. There's so many scratches on this side. I mean, just look at that. The leather headband, all that stuff is already, rubbed off. There's no leather in here anymore. Neither with the ear cups. I mean, there's no more well, actually, on the edges there is still some leather stuck to it, but I mean, leather is just flaking off everywhere. It feels like leather, but there's that kind of like that fuzzy sort of look to it. So a lot of the leather has basically just been rubbed off at this point, and there's no more leather on this one. Absolutely. Well, actually, yeah, there's still some of the edges, but yeah, it's completely just. Oh my gosh, this thing looks like it's been through hell and back. It looked like it went through a war, and came back or something like that. But yeah, these things still work somehow. But I figured, you know what? Let's get with the times. So I have a new Logitech G733 headset, and honestly, I was thinking about spending a few extra dollars and getting the Kada, the Kada, whatever you pronounce it as, the Kada style headset, which it would be like white, and then of course on the headband here it would be like the Kada logo and colors and stuff like that. But I just decided to get the regular black one, and I customized the lights here to flash red all the time, because like normally it just comes out of the box as just doing the whole RGB stuff. I'm not really a big fan of RGB, and as you can tell, black and red, optimal color combination. So I just decided, let's just have it as red. So yeah, I mean, and it matches my whole aesthetic. I mean, these are black and red. My old laptop, it's Asus ROG. Oh, wrong way. It's Asus ROG, Republic of Gamers, and Republic of Gamers is black and red. So, oh, actually, one thing to point out. One thing that I really, the one thing that I'm really kind of on the fence about with the new laptop, this is kind of a nitpick, honestly, but basically this logo here, when you turn the screen on, this logo will light up, and how bright this logo lights up depends on how bright your screen is, which is actually really cool. But basically, so this thing it shines red somehow through this metallic sort of thing, this metallic color. It shines red through somehow. But on this laptop, there's the same exact logo, same exact spot, same exact size, same exact look when it's turned off. But when I turn it on, that logo flashes white. I don't know why. It flashes red on this one, but it flashes white on that one, which I don't get, because ROG is supposed to be black and red, and it's a white logo. And I can't change the color of the logo. I mean, there's nothing in the software, in the Asus software, that I can change it to. So, I don't know. Like, the rest of the thing is RGB. So basically, I'm just gonna demonstrate it here because I'm too lazy to take the camera off the. And actually, that's one more point I want to get across. This camera does not come with a built-in webcam or microphone, so thank goodness. I mean, if you're gonna spend like $1,700 on a gaming laptop, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have your own mic and webcam and headset and stuff like that. So, and I went out of focus, so let me try and get it to focus on this. Come on, camera, focus. Well, right as I was talking about the webcam, it just goes out of focus. There we go. So, yeah, if you're spending $1,700 on a gaming laptop, they expect you to have your own webcam and your own microphone and stuff like that, or maybe your headset microphone or whatever. But they expect you to have that stuff, and so what that allows them to do is to make these bezels super super thin. So if you don't know what bezels are the space in between the rest of the laptop and the screen. So basically, anything that's out, actually, a better way to explain it is any space that's outside of the screen is your bezel. So this right here is your bezel, and because of this mic or of this webcam here and the built-in microphone, there has to be a little bit of a gap here. And so basically, with the way that they're manufacturing screens now, yeah, the fact that they don't have a webcam here anymore, they can shrink this bezel down, so it's a lot smaller on this laptop than it is on this laptop, which is, it's more of a stylistic thing, but also it does reduce the amount of material that you need, and so it kind of you're able to shrink the laptop down even more without sacrificing screen size. So there is a little bit of weight savings there, which is a good point to make as well. The old laptop, the old laptop before this one, the G751, that thing weighed around, like I said, 10 pounds. This thing weighs around 6.5 pounds, so this 6.5 pounds, so that's already quite a bit of an improvement. And then the laptop I have right here is a little bit over 5 pounds. So, I mean, going from 6.5 pounds to a little over 5 pounds, not going to be that much of a difference until you really have to hold the thing and like move it to places. I really feel the weight difference. I mean, it's only a pound and some change, but you really start to feel the difference. Even though I'm not gonna be, carrying this thing around, because you're not really supposed to just carry a gaming laptop all over the place. They don't have the battery life for that, and so I just don't get when people, buy it and they're just like, oh, this thing only lasts, I can only play for 30 minutes and the performance is awful because it's trying to save battery. And it's like, you're really not supposed to be gaming on the go with a gaming laptop, so. And then people are going to ask me, well, why the heck do you buy gaming laptops then? Well, some people like me, don't have a stable living edition, and so it's a lot harder to, move when you have to, carry your tower everywhere you go. Like if you're always, moving places every year, it's a lot harder to always have to carry that big tower every time you have to move. Every single year, you're moving here, you're moving there, you always have to lug around that big tower. When in my case, all I have to do is just carry on, like I said, this 5 pound laptop, and there we go. I can just move my my PC, and even when I go on vacation, I can just slip that into a backpack and put that on my carry-on luggage on the plane, and there you go. I can bring my PC wherever I want to go. So yeah. But anyways, enough with PC stuff. Now that I've been talking about it for a little over 18 minutes. Let's go ahead and get to the hockey stuff, because I'm pretty sure people want to hear me talk about hockey right now. So I'm way late on this. I mean, because I haven't made a video in about 3 months. So trade deadline and a lot of stuff has happened, and playoffs and stuff like that. So I'm really far behind on this stuff right now, and so basically. The teams I'm cheering in the playoffs right now are, well, first of all, I have 2 teams tied for first, as in, like, the teams that I would like to see, the most go far in the playoffs, which are the Rangers and the Minnesota Wild. For reasons, Rangers, like I've stated in videos before, they're my number 2 team. The Wild, just because Marc-Andre Fleury was traded there, and we kind of need him to win games for the first round pick this year, so that because Minnesota traded Chicago a second round pick for Marc-Andre Fleury, but if Fleury wins half the games needed to go to the Western Conference Final, then we get their first round pick instead. So obviously things haven't really been working out too well for Minnesota in the playoffs, but I'm still pushing for it. I said it's gonna go to distance. It's gonna go to 7, and right now the only way Minnesota can win this series is if they bring it to 7. So yeah, as I'm recording this, it's 12:35 in the morning, And so Minnesota is supposed to be playing technically later today, but logically for me, because I haven't gone to bed yet, it would be tomorrow at I believe 6:30. So I'm holding out for Game 6. Hopefully the Minnesota Wild can do stuff. I think tomorrow night I'm just gonna look back at this video and be like, oh man, he really he was hoping really for it, and it just didn't work out. So yeah, Rangers and Wild. What a game earlier today by the Rangers, down 2-0. Nearing the end of the second period, Rangers score 3 goals in a little under 3 minutes, and then Pittsburgh ties it up not even 13 seconds later. So it was a crazy game, but the Rangers managed to hang on. And there's so much doom posting in the Rangers Discord, and wow, what a game, what a game. So yeah, really pushing for the Rangers. And then the other two teams that I have, one from the East and one from the West, I have Toronto. I'm cheering for Toronto, mainly because Steve Dangle made me a much bigger fan. Honestly, I became a fan just because, you kind of start to feel bad for the fan base, because it wasn't their fault that they're so bad, because I saw a little bit of my Chicago Blackhawks in the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the fact that, the Stanley Cup drought, for us, thankfully, it only ended at 49 years, but for Toronto, it's at 55 years and counting right now. So at some point, you just kind of feel bad, and you just want to see that team, do something. You want to see them win something. And the fact that they still haven't gotten out of the first round, although they're 1 game away right now, but you know what that means. It's gonna go to Game 7. Game 6 is later tonight. Technically for me, that's gonna be later tonight, and hopefully Toronto does something. But yeah, so Toronto, and then let's balance it with another team on the West, Colorado. Very, very stacked team, and lots of stuff that they've done, this season. Cale Makar being Cale Makar, and it's just they just swept Nashville, so they're waiting for the winner of the Blues and Wild series. So yeah, they already made it to the second round, so that means I'm a little bit I'm a little late on this, making this video. So yeah, but Colorado, that's my last pick. So tied for first, Rangers and Wild. Number 3, Toronto. Number 4, Colorado. So those are my top. Those are my 4. Those are my 4 teams that I'm cheering on for the playoffs. And yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about stuff that I missed over the past 3 months. So trade deadline. Brendan Hagel, hate to see him go. Love the return. Taylor Radish, already fitting into this roster. Boris Kachuk, he's starting to find his stride, and I really do see some upside in this kid. So 2 great prospects, 2 first-round picks. I mean, couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, that was just amazing what Kyle Davidson did. So amazing work by Davidson. He's really committing to this rebuild, and it was a long time coming. Like, honestly, we should have had a retool after 2017. We should not have panic sold. We should not have brought it back, Brandon Saad. Even though we weren't going to be able to afford the superstar contract that Artemi Panarin was going to want, we should have kept them around. We should not have dealt him for Brandon Saad. No. Hjalmarsson being traded to Arizona. He was our most reliable defensive defenseman, and we just shipped him out. And I don't know why. He didn't do anything wrong. Like, are you serious? Why did Hjalmarsson get shipped out at the deadline or after the playoffs? That never made sense to me, and I always despised Bowman after that. The Hjalmarsson trade and the Panarin trade single-handedly flip-flopped my opinion of Bowman in a whole offseason. Well, I don't remember what the span was between that, but in that span, he completely flip-flopped my opinion of him. And honestly, ever since then, I despise Bowman. Even if he got Marc-Andre Fleury. I love Marc-Andre Fleury. I mean, from the way I talk about him, you would imagine he'd been on our team for several years. He hasn't even been here a full season, and I spoke so highly of him. There's something about Marc-Andre Fleury that, you just can't hate. It's his attitude, his kindness, his smile, everything. It's just so infectious. The good vibes that come off this man. Even if your team is losing, which the Blackhawks were, Marc-Andre Fleury was such a bright spot in this dark season for the Blackhawks, and the next few years are gonna be very, very painful because we're committing to a rebuild. The draft lottery just happened, and we don't have our first round pick because we shipped it off because of the Seth Jones trade. It was top 2 protected, but thankfully we didn't win the lottery. We didn't get up in the top 2. Thank goodness, because next year is going to be a much more loaded draft. Not saying that Shane Wright isn't great, but Connor Bedard, people have been talking about him, ever since he was like 15 years old. So Connor Bedard is widely touted to be number 1 next year. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what order we get, but we'll just see. Oh, my headset just turned off. Wow, that's embarrassing. I was wondering what that noise was. So yeah, but anyways, rebuilding. I'm gonna be on board for this. I mean, it's gonna be very, very painful. Of course, it just sucks to watch your team lose game after game after game, and you can't do anything about it. But that's what rebuilding is. We got to get those high draft picks. We got to get we got to start shipping players out and getting future considerations, or like not future considerations, but like future assets. Assets for the future, basically. So that's why we sold Brandon Hagel at the deadline and got that massive return for him. So yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and stop rambling around here. It's already 27 minutes and I don't want to go much further. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I will be back on Twitch. I don't have a time, I don't have a time estimation, but hopefully I should be back within this next week. I don't know. There's just nothing to stream, and I don't know what to stream without being completely robotic on on stream. So it's just difficult. But yeah. Anyways, if you stuck it out for this long, you guys are MVPs. You guys are awesome. So yeah. But anyways, thanks for watching the video, and until next time, I will see you guys later.